Hello, everyone. I'm Kybria Morgan of Morning Brew's Consumer Multimedia team, and I'm excited to be here with Kristin Kelley, Chief Revenue and Marketing Officer at CareerBuilder. Kristin is on a mission to help everyone find meaning in their work. That's why she's spent most of her 20-year professional experience in the staffing industry. She's an expert in demographic workforce shifts, women in leadership, work-life balance, and employee motivations. Thank you so much for joining me today, Kristin.
Of course. Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to be with you.
Me too. So let's get started. As we all know, the recruiting landscape is one that's constantly evolving. Luckily for us, Career Builder is already sharing some high-level findings for 2024's hiring and recruiting trends. Kristin, what does the research suggest are recruiters' top 3 challenges in today's market, and what kind of data are we looking at to support this?
Sure. Some of this not necessarily new news, but what I think is news is that these, top reasons continue to top the charts when it comes to finding and securing talent. At the top of the list is certainly pay. 63% of people did say that pay and compensation, especially around, the rise of inflation, is a number one motivator in either staying in a job or finding a new job. This is something that I think obviously all employers need to keep on mind. The other really is a shortage. So there are shortages of certain skill sets that do keep hiring managers up at night. 52% of people did say that this is something that they worry as we go into 2024 as a continuing trend. And the last really is quality candidates. So finding the right people for the right job, is about half. Half of all people that we talked to did say that this is something that they do worry about.
So, in light of challenges like the ones you mentioned, what are some key in-house tools for recruiters wanting to increase the retention rates and grow their talent pipeline for organizations big and small?
Sure. So job boards, obviously, Career Builder being one, are still the number one tool that people use. Over 50% of people said they do have job board partners. Talent network is another term used to define job boards as well today. Talent marketplaces, all of those words mean the same thing, which is a place to go find readily available talent for jobs. I would say social media is also, really coming up there as a secondary tool. So using things like your social networks to post jobs out there, really geo-targeting the type of skill set you need, the region you need it in there is a very effective tool, I would say as well. And then, a lot of people, and it's still kind of a hot topic and pretty controversial, I'd say at the time, but how does AI fit into tooling as people go into 2024 will be a conversation that everyone will continue to have, and certainly one that, some people are jumping right in and others are doing it with a lot of caution.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're all comfortable applying on job boards, and you mentioned
Yeah.
AI, but what are other resources that the data suggests recruiters can leverage when sourcing and selecting candidates?
So we found over 70% of people, 71 to be specific, would say that referrals are still, a great source outside of the job board partnerships to get candidates in. So big referral programs, well marketed referral programs, from all the different audiences companies touch will continue to be something that people can leverage and network, I would say. Company websites are important as well. 67% of people said that they post their jobs on their website. People know to look on company specific websites for openings that are there. I would just caution people, if you do market your jobs there, that you have a good process internally, to get the right candidates through so it isn't a black hole. We've heard that term a lot when people start applying, jobs across any of these platforms, quite honestly.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So I'm going to bring up something that we all know about and we all have in common, and that's crafting a resume. So currently, applicants are optimizing their resumes with keywords to try to catch a recruiter or a machine. Um, Give us the inside scoop, Kristin. Is this an effective technique?
100%. So I think the art of writing a resume has become very technical. So things like years of experience, relevant skills are the things that both recruiters with their own tooling in their own ATS systems, as well as, AI and machine learning, those are the things that they're going to pick up and put people at the top of the list for sure. I would say another important thing is, transferable skills. So not just the skills that you've done in previous roles, but the skills that are important to the role at hand, even if they're just something that you learned at a different, job title at a different company, you can still put those on. They're still very relevant. So yes, the days of putting in fluff or a lot of irrelevant experience really are behind us. And it's about quantity and quality. So how many times you mention these terms as well in a resume.
That's very interesting. So as we forge into 2024, are you seeing any shifts in recruiting related to the economic climate? And as a follow-up, what are recruiters seeing as an element they most need to succeed in their recruiting goals this year?
So definitely the market has some headwinds and tailwinds that I do think are affecting how people are hiring. Contract workers is popular, and as we go into 2024, it will continue to be. So, 42% of people did say they will supplement, their workforce with contract workers, which I think is important. A little over 50% said they'll keep their recruiting budgets flat. So while they're not going to invest more money potentially, they're not going to take it away either. So, that is good news. It is still a very big budget line in a lot of different companies. So, that is also good to hear. A lot of people, around 60%, felt they had adequate amount of workers, but that also means that they have to supplement when people do leave organizations, which I would say is the last probably interesting thing. If people are sitting on their jobs a lot more than they used to, kind of waiting to see where the market goes. But jobs are out there. They're just probably not as plentiful across the board, and people will be looking for very specific skill sets and making very cautious hires, I think, as we go into 2024. So I think in terms of what people need most to succeed, I do think it's a perfect combination of tooling. I do think people have to have partnerships and resources to find the candidates that we need. This is where I think I would recommend people do start to dabble with AI a little bit, see what's out there, see how it works. It's not going anywhere, and certainly it will have a lot of, interesting elements as it relates to the recruiting industry. And I think hiring, it goes back to my transferable skill set, situation. Don't feel like you have to hire a candidate because they look like A if they're B, because B could be, again, a person that has highly transferable skills. It widens the pool of candidates that clients could hire from. So, kind of having that open mindedness, willing to train people up in roles will be important too.
Absolutely. Very encouraging and exciting. Kristin, thank you so much. This has been such an informative chat. I really enjoyed speaking with you.
Well, it's been a great use of time. I appreciate it as well.